talk a little bit about something that's been bothering people. Star Wars Theory brought it up, and I kind of want to add my 2 cents because I don't think he understands what's going on. Look, there are a lot of people out there who are not really intellectually curious, I guess is the word I want to say. And you're kind of like, you know what happened, right? All right. And then, because they didn't find it out themselves, they want to sit around and either blame you for calling them wrong. It's usually people who vote Democrat that do that, but Star Wars fans do it too. So the New York Times article that came out last week basically said that they spent $180 million on the Acolyte. Doesn't make any sense. I kind of don't believe it. I don't. When you're looking at the images, like just what you're seeing in the trailer, it doesn't look cinematic. It's not wearing that much money on its, okay. So I kind of look at it and go, I don't believe that. But they spent $90 million on Obi-Wan Kenobi, and of course, no one's allowed to like Obi-Wan Kenobi. I don't know if I believe it was $180 million because Disney never okayed it in the way that something like that needed to be okayed. I mean, that's my problem. And why did I do this the day before this shit is released, this atrocity? And you guys know that I went above and beyond the Call of Duty to find out how much money it was going to cost, where the money came from. And last year, I went and did a search through a government house or a company's house, which is an institution the Crown has to give out licenses for corporations. And as per what Cameron Pasha has said, how these guys pay themselves and how they pay for the film, how they pay for the film, or how they pay for their films, how they pay for their TV shows. They put the money into that shell company and then they take it out. Okay. So when I find what I'm looking for, it's actually it really is kind of breathtaking when you're like, all right, not that one. And it was last summer I did this, so it's going to be a lot of fun. But, I looked at this and said, there has to be something going on here because I don't see that much money. I mean, the kind of money they're talking about that the reporter, the propagandist that Zoom called with the cow was talking about is money you would put into a film. Okay, that's movie money. And so when you look at what we've known, all right, here we go, I found it. Not that one. You see that one? All right, not that one. Okay. Go over here. Okay. No. Okay. So they've got $39,987,587 here or British pounds. That roughly translates to about $50 million. Okay. I didn't even see $50 million on the screen, to be honest. Where'd the money come from? I know where it came from. Know where it came from. A 3-letter agency in England who doesn't want to be mentioned, but they were damn sure demanded that the show be aired. And then you think, well, why would, the agency that mothers James Bond be interested in a TV show for kids, quoting Pablo Hidalgo right now? It's exactly why they'd want to be part of that. And the reason why is because, it's about, this stuff is insidious. Okay, we've got people who are very bad in positions of power that they did not get elected to. Okay, that's the problem in the United States. Obviously, it's the problem in Britain and all across the Western hemisphere, is that we're not being governed and we're not being well led because the people that are supposed to be leading us, we didn't give them permission to. Okay, this is the problem. We've got one of the actors, I believe, is a trans woman who did some propaganda stuff during the lockdown in Britain for MI6. Okay, and it's very interesting to me looking at all this and going, okay, where'd the money come from? And you're like, well, if what we've been told through Sparrow, the fact that nobody in Lucasfilm wanted to touch this thing and that Favreau sent it away to be finished, and of course, the black pills will say, well, they're doing marketing with Leslye Headland. So, I don't care. That's not, what else would they do? Okay, it's the only time Kennedy has talked about it. Jonathan, I think it's not, don't call people like that hers. That's an insult to an actual her, me, okay? That's a man, mentally ill man, pretending to be a woman, probably straight. A lot of them are, all right? If you don't believe me, Bruce Jenner isn't gay. He's just fucked up in the head, okay? That's the thing. But we're not talking about that. The problem that is going on here is if it's $180 million, which is film, there's a film budget, all right? Where is it on the screen? Because I don't see it in the trailer, okay? Andor didn't cost $180 million. The complaint that Kenobi cost $90 million. Well, Kenobi, it's a streaming show, and it was fine. Bitch about the story, that's a different set of circumstances. But as far as Kenobi being a bad show, costing $90 million, it's a streaming show. It's not cinematic in the way a movie should be. And then we've got, I hope this works. I'll find it on X. This, okay. This is the extent of the fandom of Leslye Headland's cast. Let's find it. All right. Anakin blew up and trust me, I'm going to do a video because I've got the video. Death Stop it. All right. This dumbass says this twice. Okay. This entire interview with the cast was basically attacking the fans for obviously not liking it. Okay. So I'll show you both. Right, here's one.
Killed a whole Death Star. How many people died on that?
Try it again.
Well, Anakin just killed a whole Death Star. How many people died on that? Well, Anakin just killed a whole Death Star. How many people died? I did get in trouble for this answer at Star Wars Con. I got heat. Yeah. And in my mind, it's so funny to me because it literally, as a person who's outside and just a fan coming in, that was what was so beautiful and interesting to me. You know, people have been talking to me online about how Darth Vader is such a bad person. It's very clear, and it's very well established from those actions. But if you can't look and see that Anakin blowing up the Death Star possibly killed millions and millions of people, I'm going to get in trouble for saying this right now. You should just shut up. I did get in trouble for this.
All right, let me turn this off. You shut up, dumbass. When Leslye Headland decided she didn't want actual fans to be part of her Trasholite, she meant it. You see the bimbo brunette grabbing the idiot by the hand and telling him kind of to shut up. I'd have been like, no, Luke blew up the Death Star. Obviously, you've never seen Star Wars before. Okay. Yes, he said that. Yes, Michael. He said exactly what you thought you heard. Okay. Do you guys honestly believe we're going to get a good show out of this shit? Do you? Really? I mean, and of course, look, the Lucasfilm parasites that have sucked the oxygen and blood out of the franchise will defend this motherfucker. Okay. I just go, why are you here? You know, the problem is, you know, you sit there and you go, what? And the reason simply is, they're not a fan. None of these people are. This obviously gay man has never seen Star Wars in his life. Where would you ever come up with that had you seen the films? All right. These guys, you know, these actors show up and they believe that they're intellectually superior. Hey, Dave. Oh, everything's going good. Just hanging out. You know, where these people get off of being intellectually superior. Ask anybody out there who's worked in movies, worked on this stuff, and they will tell you with a straight face, actors are stupid. A lot of them are. Okay, and this fucking happily in his, you know, bubble of ignorance, floating around the world, you know, causing chaos wherever he goes. You know, you're like, what? But this is why we're not wrong when we say this show is not going to do well. All right, it's not just, you know, 79% dislikes. It's not just, you know, comments about Leslye Headland. No, don't do that. Mike is great. Dave? Oh, shit. Thank you. No, Mike was talking about the idiot in the video. I know Mike from Cameron's Patreon. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Don't worry about it. We fixed it. Mike, you're okay. You can comment. I just look at it and go, I, you know, I just, but this is the shit that's going on. This is the shit that Leslye Headland hired. Okay. It's like, I just, I just go, I can't. And, we've got a budget for set that's been said to be $180 million, $180 million. And I'm like, bullshit. I don't see it in the trailer. I don't see. No, they didn't go. There is a video that Star Wars, the Star Wars account on Insta put up where Dave is talking. They're having like a chit chat on camera with Leslye Headland. And I swear on a stack of Bibles, that ugly cow was flirting with him. I thought she was a dyke. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm like, Dave, run for your life. But, to me, I look at that and go, she was probably crazy about Harvey. I wouldn't doubt it. Okay. So, and people are just fucked up. I mean, in Hollywood, my experience, when I was still single, I was dating around, and I went out with an Italian filmmaker. And I ended up having to deal with his assistant, which was like, finally, I just told Gio, I said, dude, you gotta tell her to knock it off, because I'm gonna kill her. And I meant it. She basically, he wasn't my type. I don't, when I see an Armani suit, there better be an actual dude in it, and he was real, pale and the slick back black hair and nice guy, sweet guy. I mean, the first date we went on, he picked me up in a limousine, and I was like, okay, I'm in, but it wasn't to be. I mean, I didn't want to be there with that, I didn't want it to be, I didn't want to be part of that. Look, for any woman who just wants to date and be happy and just whatever, and you're dating somebody in the movie business, you are fucked up in the head unless they're really good people. Okay, because you're throwing yourself in a place where everybody around you anybody around you could be a predator. Okay, the girl that he hired as his assistant was a predator. Okay, and I didn't like it. He was not. And he was like, oh, I'll talk to her. And he talked to her and she'd do it again. And I was finally like, I can't do it. I can't do this anymore. And I went from dating him to just strictly sticking to guys in the military. All right. And then that's why I married Rudy. I mean, that is not only stable, there's a commitment to, and now Kotank Sensei comes up with an interesting statement here. My thing is, and this is, I think Cameron might agree with me on that, and other people as well. Peltz had sold his shares before and came back and bought more. Okay, so I'm not sure if it's not fixable. It's one of those things where Disney is too big to fail. I do believe that it's a personnel problem, and I think Iger probably knows that now. And we just sit around and wait for him to do what he needs to do, which is get rid of the people bringing the franchises down. Well, when he talks about quality, not quantity, I agree with that. Yes, yes. When he talked about veering away from messaging, yes. I mean, George Lucas said it. What's that? The guy that directed Little Mermaid animated film and Aladdin, last name Musker, I think. He said it. Okay, so there are people that are very much attached to Disney that says this has got to stop. Now, as far as the parks, the lady that wrote about that's right. That's exactly what he did, and because Peltz doesn't strike me as a guy who gives up. Okay, he just doesn't, and I kind of look at him and go, there's something else going on here. The fact that he's friends with Elon Musk, and I'll tell you why. Iger went ballistic with all this. Peltz is friends with Donald Trump. Okay, there you go. It's like, why does that matter in a business deal? But when you've got left-wing Democrats who have enough power to cause trouble for a CEO like Iger, and he's got to pretend to be just like them at times, he's going to pretend to go apeshit. Yeah, he did. He made $1 billion. So, he'll go back. He could easily go back and buy more. Okay, he could easily invest again. It just depends on what the plan is. And if you go, let's get back in our way back machine. We're going backwards. We're going backwards. All the way to, was it March? And Elon Musk was on the red carpet for Luna. And the guy asked him, a reporter standing there asked him, he goes, what are you doing here? And he said, oh, I'm just here meeting friends, thinking about companies to acquire. The friends was Nelson Peltz. Okay. My thing is, there could be a plan to take over Disney, a hostile takeover. And you lay in the weeds. It's like watching a football game and seeing a young quarterback projecting where he's going to throw the ball, which tells the defense, go there, and they intercept it and run it back for a touchdown. Okay. Going back and just being quiet while you maneuver is a better plan. He publicly challenged Iger, and and I don't care what anybody thinks here. I'm pretty sure Peltz or Iger, when he went to George Lucas, said, I need your proxy votes. I need your votes. And George said, oh, well, quid pro quo. I want something then. I'm not going to vote for you until, and then, that would be an interesting thing, Dave. Yeah, and Cross, it is kind of like that. Guys like Peltz are very good at stalking companies. And, I'm going to say this, he is right about Disney. I mean, the woman who wrote the article basically talking about how the Willow budget ballooned into hugeness. And what was I talking about? Oh God. Okay. Anyway, This is just going to be very interesting. But back to the Acolyte. So we've got $180 million. They say the propagandist for the New York Times said. He also said this, which I thought was just absolutely fucking crazy. Okay. Yeah, and Willow didn't look cinematic in any way, did it? Anyway, there were 50 million views of The Acolyte. All right, on YouTube. No, they're about 10 million. Okay, on the Star Wars channel. Now, he might be talking about an aggregate total, but because $180 million spent on something that looks like shit to me, he's lying through his teeth. He's absolutely fucking lying through his teeth. He's not telling the truth at all. Okay. You're sitting there and you're like going, there aren't 50 million views of the trailer. The first one. Go to the first one, and then you go to Firefox and look and see what the see. See if this even is the trailer. Yep. 79% dislikes. The comments are hugely anti Leslye Headland, and it's just really, I mean, hilarious that, you know, and Scott's right, get woke, go broke. But that's not 50 million views. And if you look at everything that they released in regards to the Acolyte, they don't have enough for 50 million views aggregate. So where's he getting the money, the number? Or did he pull it out of his own ass? Or did he go to other, news sites like, Variety had it. I think Deadline had it. Several news sites had it. And you're kind of going, there's no reason to believe that number. Okay, there isn't. And like this guy, I don't even know what that actor's name was, basically saying that Anakin Skywalker blew up the Death Star. That is not going to help you get people to turn it on their television set if they've got Disney Plus on their smart TV. They're not going to pick up their phones and watch it. Okay, which is how I watch this stuff, unless I watch it because the TV is so loud and the great room just echoes through the whole house and keeps my husband awake. That's why I want to do the basement. I want to do a place to watch movies without waking everybody up in the house. When he's asleep, I want to chillax. So I don't know what the Nielsen ratings are going to say. I don't know what they're going to do. It's really interesting going into this. Star Wars Theory is going to have his watch party, 2 a.m. tomorrow morning. I'm not going to watch it. I'm not. I'm might skim a little, but as far as wanting to spend, an hour and a half of my life, I got other things to do than give Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant a leg to stand on. Okay. I don't want to give that any sort of credence. So unlike Andor, I ain't watching it for you, so you don't have to. Okay, so my advice is don't, because, all right, I'm gonna go back on a rant. Leslye Headland in 2012 is interviewed about a play she made. Hey, Carlos. And a play she wrote, and it was about assistants working for a company called the Weisinger Company. How original. And they had basically a really bad boss named Daniel Weisinger. And there were different characters like that, she wrote it almost like you could see the Sex and the City influence. One's a bubblehead, one's a this, one's a that, one's a this and that, whatever. And, it's an off-Broadway play. And, she was asked, is it about Harvey Weinstein? And she said no. In fact, Weinstein thought it was so great, he gave her money for it. He financed it. She was ecstatic. The biggest Harvey Weinstein fan ever. 2024. No one asks her about him. No one asks her at all. And, she gets away with so much shit that, look, you post a picture of her and Harvey together, and I had some skinny, ratty looking little bitch say it was photoshopped. It's like, she was his assistant. It's not photoshopped. He financed almost everything that she did when she left him. She worked for him for 6 years. You stupid, ignorant little cunt, you. Okay. And it angers me a lot because Headland has never once apologized for enabling that son of a bitch to do what he did. And she did. She did. She enabled him. It's not photoshopped. There are other pictures of them together. I have them. And if you're a left-wing SJW member of the alphabet community and you're insulted to the point where you're so fucking stupid, you think an actual publicity or picture from a party, probably the Oscars, is photoshopped, you're an idiot, and you probably watch CNN. I don't know. Okay. Probably the last person who watches CNN. But look, we live in a world where the truth doesn't matter. All right, the truth doesn't matter to these people. No, she won't. She won't apologize. She's safe being a hypocrite, safe attacking George Lucas, safe pretending she's a Star Wars fan when she's not. She's safe from explaining why she hired an actor who's so fucking stupid that he spews twice that Anakin Skywalker blew up the Death Star. Yes, you're gonna get in trouble for that. Because that was Luke, his son. And if you want to talk about Anakin doing anything, he blew up the Trade Federation's ship. Its command ship. That's what he did. Okay. Not the Death Star. But even normies know that. Even people who are normal know that. And it's like, really? Really? I'm literally, when I think about this stuff, I literally get speechless at how stupid people are. I mean, it's just, but, Headland hired this guy. Yeah, I mean, I do too. And, but there's a lot of other issues like, Kennedy acting like female Star Wars fans didn't exist until she showed up. And then, her little army of fangirls, like Star Wars Explained, etc., insipidly believing that the mythology about her. None of it's true. None of it is real. Telling female Star Wars fans that they didn't exist. Hey, Musk, how you doing, man? Female Star Wars fans that they didn't exist. It's like, Kathy, just because you can't navigate a man's world, doesn't mean we couldn't. Okay, I had 4 brothers, all older than me. And it was, when you're the youngest of 9, and they're all, and you've got 4 brothers who are rough and tumble, you learn some things. You learn how to do things. Okay, my sisters aren't, but I'm very outdoorsy. I own a horse. I grew up hunting, fishing, boating, and stuff like that. I want to be inside. And yes, my wardrobe is extensive. All right. And like George said, women can wear dresses and be just as tough as men are. I'm paraphrasing, but that was what he was saying. And, that's the thing that these women don't understand. And look, Kennedy has only ever had daughters. So she doesn't know anything about boys. She really doesn't. And I think look, when you read the article from the New York Times and you read Headland's personal story about how she doesn't talk to some siblings, it's like a lot of us have that issue. Shall we all bow down and cry for you? No, I'm not going to do that. Why? Because first off, you're not a victim, Leslye. Okay? I think you're mentally ill. I think you're nuts. I think that you probably should leave Hollywood and get therapy and help. Okay, what's he sent me? All right. And it just, I'm like, so I'll read this. So a tweet from Alan Nig at Film Threat. Final verdict, the 3rd episode of The Acolyte will finally kill Star Wars for the vast majority of pre-Disney Star Wars fans. Based on Lucasfilm's comments of late, they are okay with that. Hollywood Reporter. This is on March 19th, by the way. Star Wars The Acolyte creator, Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant, talks a unique perspective of her upcoming series. And I didn't read that. I'm not going to read that. I don't, look, when you've got people like at Film Threat, Midnight's Edge, and other places demanding, we say Star Wars is dead because that's the narrative they want. You got to walk away from them. Okay, this is the thing that absolutely convinces me that they can't kill it. Okay, because look, the Acolyte's going to show up. No one's going to watch it. It's not going to be watched. Thank you, Cross. People like that just need to stay in their lane and stay out of here. All right. I am really pissed off at the way these people, all right, see you, Mike, have a good day, think they can come on here and say black pill shit when they don't know anything about film. They don't know anything about how a TV show's made. They're not, look, that guy that Cross just sent away, he probably doesn't know anything about the money that the Acolyte was given. He doesn't know anything about the weird shit going down. He's not intellectually curious enough to look up things for himself. He goes to Nerdrotic, he goes to other places to get his rage cage on, and that's it. So fuck that shit, all right? If you're not going to take the time to do your due diligence and do your research and all the rest of that stuff, then you need to go. You don't need to be here, all right? And the reason why I say that is simply pointless statements like that. What that guy just made. What do they do? I mean, it's like this. The conservative movement since Reagan died. The only two people I could actually point to that kept up the happy warrior thing, Rush Limbaugh and Andrew Breitbart. They're both gone. What we have left are people who create a narrative that I call a rage cage. And if you go against it, they treat you like shit. Okay, I mean, what's going on with Ethan Van Sciver is just, why? First off, don't do that because he's going to make you look stupid. And he does make these idiots, the black pills, look stupid. Okay. And if you don't want to be part of a trash cast, leave it alone. Okay. Just leave it alone. All right. I mean, and the guy's been in the comics industry for 30 years? Oh, it's just, he criticized another comic book creator. I think it was about not being able to fulfill orders or something like that. I'm not up to it. And it's become a daily bunch of shit from the black pills on him. Yeah, and that is, it's true. And he has every right to say what he said. These guys are amateurs. He's been in the business for 30 years. And they don't understand how to do the job in the way that gets the customers what they want. Okay. And, I'm sorry, but the person that he was, basically criticizing turned it into some sort of race baiting thing, I think. And it became Matt DeWeen's here. I don't see him. Hi, Matt. Haven't seen you in a while. And it's become this thing. And you're like going, these people who are doing this to him have done it to everybody who doesn't, kiss their asses. And it's like, look, I look at them. I look at the SJWs. And it's like, why don't you all just get together and have a war and be done with it and leave us out of it? Okay, because I don't care anymore. I'm looking at the bigger picture, not, it all sucks, it's dead, ugh, and repeat again. I mean, every time that someone says Star Wars is dead, I think that should be a drinking game. Of course, I don't think anybody would survive a night of that, but still, it's really, it's kind of sad, but when you look at where YouTube has gone, it has become not a place where you can just sit and chit chat and have fun. You can discuss your likes and dislikes. It's become an industry, and when something becomes an industry, and you start to create an establishment, you get this shit on both sides. Because both sides are an establishment. George Carlin actually, there's an interview, short, a reel floating around on Facebook, was up on a stage talking with the guy that I used to work with. Well, all right, bye, Dave. I was going in to work for Army, and he was leaving. His name is Horace, and Horace Cooper. And Carlin said something that Horace disagreed with, but I kind of agreed with Carlin, that you've got people in Washington, D.C. that call themselves Democrats, call themselves Republicans, but they all go to the same country club, same restaurants, same gyms, same everything. They all live in the same culture. So really, their self-interest is keeping the status quo. And that is what's going on, I think, with YouTube. And it doesn't matter, because you have to note, that girl that wrote a bunch of stuff for Inside the Magic, she lives in Dubai. I don't know why she, basically used that Park Place as a source for a story. They're both supposedly diametrically opposed to each other. Doesn't that make you go, interesting, interesting, interesting? Okay, so this is the problem with YouTube. All right. And of course, when you've got I gotta tell Maze I'm live. I'm on live. It's really time. My problem is, Ripa, I guess, started waving the race card. And it's like, the moment you start doing that, I don't care who you are, I'm a victim because I'm a woman, Leslye Headland, Kathleen Kennedy. Or Moses Ingram, any of those people, they start waving that, it distracts from the reason why they were criticized. You can't act. You, Ms. Headland, should be in jail next to Harvey because if you see something and you don't say something, that makes you a part of the problem, right? And it's like you lose my respect. I mean, I'm sorry. Kennedy, look, I want you guys to do something after this if you have time. Go to Corian Witch in Residence's YouTube channel and watch the two videos that Kamran and Corian and they're all on together talking about The Last Jedi. Okay, it's just, you kind of go, because they're right. Okay, they're right. I mean, Kennedy filmed the first draft. They were talking about Canto Bight in the last episode of this. There's absolutely no reason for that to be in the movie. Okay, it was just a way to pull Finn away from Rey, for Reylo, and it was just another place for a bunch of, garbage political messaging that didn't need to be in it. Okay. So I sit here and I go, we're going to get Ryan Johnson 2.0. Okay, this is Leslye Headland's already like, I'm a victim. You're being mean to me. This is a male dominated franchise and, women should be heard and all the rest of that bullshit. It's like Carrie Fisher and the rest of the ladies were not consulted in this. All right. They weren't, how hard is it to call up a woman and say, how do you feel about this? Looking for something. Call Natalie Portman. Okay. Call the first lady that played Mon Mothma. All right. It's not the number of women because these idiots want to have 50 billion fulfilling women and there don't need to be. They need to be quality characters. Okay. For instance, Ahsoka. Ahsoka, played by Rosario Dawson, is quality. Okay. Bordizzo is not a good actress. The character's smug. Not quality. Okay. We didn't need, you don't need Sabine Wren. You don't. You don't need Harrison Dula. You don't. Okay. You've already got people who do those, you already got a woman who is basically the person playing the strings, and that's Leia. Okay, we don't need Harrison Dula. We don't need all those women. What you do is you write quality characters. And that's what George did. Kennedy allowed J.J. Abrams to, demote Leia, give us a one-dimensional boy-girl Rey, and then she turns around and lets Ryan Johnson create Vice Admiral Gender Studies and put Kelly Marie Tran into a potato sack and whatever that weird haircut she had. Okay. When you take a beautiful girl like that and turn her into Winnie the Pooh, that's bullshit. That's absolute bullshit. All right. And it's like, no, those are not quality women characters. Okay. Again, quantity, you're not going to get the best. Quality, you will. Okay. If you're very, very, a problem I think that somebody like, Ryan Johnson and Leslye Headland have is probably self-editing. Okay. Anybody here watch that show about fashion on Bravo, Project Runway? Remember Tim Gunn? He would basically tell the amateur designers, you need to edit this. It needs to be edited. And I don't think that people like Ryan Johnson and Leslye Headland are capable of self-editing. Hey, 007, how you doing? I didn't see you. So anyway, I kind of want to put this out there. As far as the money goes for the Acolyte, $180 million is no, I don't believe, look, again, If you believe Leslye Headland's a Star Wars fan, she's not. This was fake bullshit. If you believe that the show cost $180 million, if it did, it's probably all the reshoots. Because, but again, you've got Willow blowing up. Its budget. And now it's gone. Okay. And again, like I said, the lady that wrote that stuff for Forbes. Now, I've had lefties screeching at me that Forbes just makes shit up. No, it doesn't. It's absolutely one of the financial papers of import. Okay, and by the way, I've met Steve Forbes. The guy's as boring as dishwater. I mean, but there you go. It's just really interesting to me how this is all playing out. Now, I'm hoping something goes on which absolutely drowns out the Acolyte. No news about it at all. Okay. Disney, are you listening? Make a deal with Gina Carano. Okay. This is stuff. I'll see you around the galaxy.